Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules the Man Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and watch a little bit of anime, and then we come back here and talk about it. And today is the first time we're going to be talking about The God of High School, a brand new anime that was picked out of this list here. If you'd like to add an anime to the anime chest, you can do that with a $5 super chat on YouTube or 500 bits on Twitch, and just send us your recommendation. It'll be put in the chest to be seen and watched by us in the coming season. We've already done so many anime here. There's so much that we've gone through, filling out the ranks. We got our first D rank last time, and we are going to continue on, soldiering on this anime journey. And I don't go on this journey alone because I go with my co-host, Matt Galley. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing so good. I've been soaking up so much beautiful blue light from the monitors on my computer from working on spreadsheets and menus for the past week and a half. Yum, yum, yum. But I'm really excited to talk about our new anime today because it felt like, I don't know if it's just, the Stockholm syndrome of being stuck with something else for too long or whatever. But man, this was a breath of fresh air this week.
You know what? I was going to say the same thing, and I didn't know as well, just like you. I'm like, is this really good, or is it just because we were just coming off of the thing? And it always feels like we go from a really bad one to a really good one. And I don't know if that ever is just because of what we were watching, and then we're like, oh my God, this is so good, or it's actually really good. I'm thinking it's the latter. I think it's actually pretty good. But it looks like I think I've gone the opposite because I went to the beach this week. I'm a little darker. I noticed this is the first time I'm on camera in a while, and I'm like,
oh boy,
oh my God, I'm a little dark.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach. Yeah, so we're talking about The God of High School for the very first time. If you saw the very first 4 episodes, like we told you to, which was your homework last week, there's gonna be a test at the end. Then give us your thoughts. Let us know what you're thinking about the anime in the chat. We are live on YouTube and Twitch, so let us know you're here. Let's just jump right into it. Episode 1, setup, stand up. What happens in the episode 1 of The God of High School?
First off, we see some unseen horror destroying these investor-looking guys on an island, and we hear about the God of High School tournament commencing. Jin, our protagonist, wakes up from a dream, running late to the tournament in question. He meets Mira during a chase with a purse snatcher, with it culminating with the introduction of our last main character, ending the pursuit, Han. We are told about the prize of the tournament as Jin sets his sights on what he's actually there for, a rematch with one of the administrators. The tournament opens up with a battle royale, and Jin goes head to head with a late contestant added into the match.
Oh boy, tournament arc, bro. I'm a simple man. I don't need much, and I gotta say right off the bat, I guess overall general thoughts first, and I guess we can dive into episode 1 and episode. But this is what I wanted Record of Ragnarok to be, and it's a lot better than what it was. Record of Ragnarok is just gods bringing back amazing heroes from so many different times, whatever, and they're pitching them to fight each other.
I haven't watched it myself, but I know the concept.
It's okay. I watched the anime up to episode 7 or 8, and I'm like, this could be good. And I liked learning about all the, different people, historical figures, but I'm like, it's not hidden. So this is yes, straight tournament arc, God of High School. I get it. It was an interesting thing though, to start off the episode with throwing us into something that we have no clue of. And I was just scratching my head for a little bit about the whole plot against Park Mojin, who was possibly the prime minister. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what's happening? So it was kind of bold to start off that way and then kick us into this whole thing where we meet our main characters. First, we got to talk about the song and the intro. How did you like it?
The opening is hype.
Yes.
I really like the intro. It exudes the whole like tournament energy. Like, we're in an arena, like high energy, everybody's about to fight. It was a really good opening. I like all the different colors, the stylized aspects of it. I was loving it.
Very good. Very good
How are you
song.
feeling about it?
Hype as hell. Definitely didn't skip it a whole lot. I was just like, let's do it. Let's do it again. Why not? Cool ass song. It was like dubstep vibes a little bit. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, here we go.
a little dubstep, maybe a little house in there.
Definitely. We get introduced to Maury, who he's awakened from a dream talking to his grandpa. So automatically we're like, okay, this is our main character. Something's happening. What's going on? Very cool. There's a lot of vibrant colors. The first thing that took me, again, I don't know if it's because we watched me before, but there's so many vibrant colors.
Yes.
Like they were doing like these big shots of like traffic and like traffic's. I was like so hyped for the traffic moving really well.
Yeah.
And, like,
I saw that this was, in the opening credits, I see animated by Mappa, and I'm already just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna be in for like a spectacle, if anything.
mhm.
Because yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna live check actually. Mappa did the fourth and final season of Attack on Titan, which has some of the like coolest animation with them doing the whole ODM gears in different environments and stuff, in my opinion. So immediately I see that and I'm just like, yeah, I'm here for whatever the show is going to throw at me visually. I'm probably going to be pretty happy, and it gets kicked off in a really cool way with our protagonist waking up from a dream. I like the immediate characterization of he wakes up from a dream. He's hungry, but he's late for the tournament. So like that's already kind of characterizing him.
Oh,
But then,
definitely.
but then we get the whole, in the split second, he sees this purse snatcher grab the purse from the lady. He looks over at the lady and he envisions her whole life story. And he's like, oh, that poor old lady. And he's late for his tournament. He's hungry. So that's important to be fed for his tournament. But he's going to stop everything and go chase that purse snatcher. We like him. He's
Instantly,
likable. Like I say that's likable.
yeah, instantly we know his character. Like that's so quick in like such a short span of time. Like you said, likable, but also just like we can get behind him because we already see that his morals are pretty high. His morals are like, oh man, I'm so already down on my luck right now because I have to get to this tournament, hungry, all this stuff. And it's like, oh, I can't let it go. He can't let it go. And he has to be a good person. And we love that. And automatically I'm like, okay, I'm on this dude's side. And yeah, the main thing is main character has empathy. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother, give me some more of that empathy. Helping an old lady chasing a robber. That bike though went through so much shit. I was like, what brand is that? Because that bike broke through a guardrail.
It went straight through the guardrail, man. Is it the bike or is it the pilot of the bike? Because as we go on to see, he's kind of crazy.
True. But like the bike needs to the bike went boom through it. We meet a girl with glasses who I was like, what is this about? This whole thing. We find out it's you Mira. And I like the way that they kind of all met. They all kind of came together. You is just like, I guess, ogling over dudes with muscles just because they have muscles. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
Like, I love guys with muscles.
Yeah, it's fine. And then the way that we get Han Daiwi, the way that he's listening to what's going on, like on a live stream.
Exactly.
I'm like, bro,
it's great. And it does it without it having to, walk you through that. It just happens so fast. It's all happening through the visual storytelling, through the audio storytelling, subtly of things like the podcast or the news broadcast that he's listening to, whatever. And it's not heavy-handed at all. I don't find it to be, and it knows what the audience is here for, and it immediately starts to give it to you, like hand over fist.
After this whole bike sequence, I was just like, I'm in it. Like they haven't even got to the real fighting yet, and I'm like already in it because of the animation in it, going around things. Like it's and they do this kind of throughout the whole thing, and I kind of want to make this as a broad thing, but they do what we were talking about with the last anime, where it's dumb anime cartoony, but they don't overdo it. And I'm so okay with that. The way that he stays on his bike, he jumps onto his bike, he jumps over stuff, and then he lands back on his bike. In other episodes, there's like chibi versions of them sometimes.
Yes, exactly. That's I like how they don't stick to the one art style of the characters. Even like, you know, the shocked animation of like characters, like they're leaning into the physical humor aspect of it in ways where yeah, it's refreshing to see, because it's giving such a high energy to every moment on screen, and it makes every shot and everything feel dynamic and fresh, and that I'm not just sitting here getting exposition dumps at me. Like
Nope.
I'm not listening to a story be told. I'm watching a story happen.
And it's so cool. I really like it. I really like this whole thing. Han has this insane punch. We get some comedy with you crashing into the sign, and it's just like, it's all good. I'm here for this crew. I'm down for this crew.
I like, you know, I when I'm doing the screenshots for this, it's just like, yeah, it was like, it's hard to not grab so many different shots, because everything that's happening, again, yeah, it just feels so high energy. It's all characterizing them. I love that he crashes into her and immediately, like, you know, gets her on board with him, and it does that by like playing that same sequence of the old lady very quickly. Like, it's not a joke that overstays its welcome, because it knows how much the joke is worth, when it's going to land for the audience, and when to get over itself and move on. Like, it doesn't persist. And I really like that, where again, it's just like, that goes back further with other anime that we've done this season, with just like, we're lingering on a joke. Okay, we get it. Okay, can we move on? So it's just like, it's nice to feel like things are kept going, which goes to the pacing aspect, where I feel like it's paced for what for what this story is trying to do. I feel like it's paced perfectly.
Yeah, it felt like episodes just blew past so fast. I was just like, I'm already done with the episode. I'm already halfway through the episode. I'm like, oh my God, it's just going so fast. So we get into more of the meat of what's going on. We're at the regional preliminaries finally. No timer, no limits, nano machines injected into them to monitor their body, and everything is supposed to be fixed at the end of the fight, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm fine with the whole aspect, I guess. Like that's the furthest I'm gonna stretch to believability. Well, later until episode 4.
Sure.
But as
But
far as like the rules set, I'm like, okay, I'm down. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna go all out, and then we start with the last man standing battle royale. How did you feel about the rules that they set up with this tournament in episode 1?
I feel like it's a kind of like a great way to like immediately, I'm sure they have so much fluff in that tournament, so it's a good way to give all of the characters that actually have like the uniqueness. You know, we can tell, oh, they're going to be moving on, they're going to moving on, they have character design, they're actually pulling out moves. It's a good way to have them kind of like just have a few moments and show off their kind of like all these different techniques, because we get the whole thing that this is a completely all fighting styles tournament. So just that alone is just like, there's so much that they could do with it. And so immediately we get a bunch of different distinct fighters that are showing on. We get this like Amazon pro wrestler, we get this guy with a book out that's hitting everybody with a bat, all calculated, and then we get like a tai chi guy, a martial artist. Han, just karate strength. She's like got her sword, and then Jin finishing it up with the his taekwondo. So it's really cool. I love the entire setup, and again, it's just it's playing into everything that I was just talking about by giving them all just a little bit of spice, different spice for each of them with their respective fighting styles. And that goes further as we get into their one-on-one matchups. But it's
Definitely.
again, it's just nice to see them all get a moment before we get into those one-on-one matchups. That way, that's not the introduction of the character.
Yeah.
We already have a little bit of what they're supposed to be about.
And it's so epic. Like they're actually using, like, I don't know Taekwondo or anything, so I don't know really, but I know wrestling. And as soon as what's her
Yeah, I
name?
was like, I know Jules is hype watching this pro wrestler.
Brother, I put her in the thumbnail. Oh, I was like, as soon as episode 1, I see her style, and I'm like, is she a wrestler? I was like, instantly, I knew. Like, so, like, as far as that way, and from what I can tell with my little knowledge of the other arts and stuff, I'm like, okay, they actually did some homework at least to kind of mimic how this person would fight, and I'm like, this is really cool. Every person has a level. It's just epic fighting right off the bat, and I'm like, so dope. Like you're saying, showcasing all the different styles. We get the information that Jin was in a fight with one of the commissioners in the past, so that's like a little breadcrumb there. Kang, who's the newcomer, who everyone's like, yeah, just put him in, whatever. Dan says, mommy Sion. Yes. Yes, she's my favorite so far.
She was really cool.
We get Kang, who's the newcomer. He's super fast. And then Mira gets disarmed. Jin injured Kang. And then we leave off with this, brother, the epic episode 1 ending, bro. They're like building them up, and we ended like this. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm clicking episode 2.
Exactly. That's like,
it's
that's
crazy.
one of the biggest. I'm immediately like smashing the button. Show it to me, Rachel.
Yeah.
Show it to me, please.
As far as a first episode, I think it'd be hard to think back on the anime that we've seen to think of a better intro of an anime, because I think this shows you exactly what it's going to be, gives you the vibes with the intro song, sets up the main characters, gives them characterization, and leaves you off with a really cool, well, cool to me and probably Matt, because I'm a fan of tournament stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of fighting, I can see it.
The tournament arc is the shonen staple. It's what every like shonen wants to build its characters out towards in being able to achieve a good tournament arc. It's like what every shonen kind of like sets out to do initially before they can lay the groundwork for bigger things like, you know, war arcs and stuff like that. You gotta get there first, because it's such a staple. And I like the way this show is able to deliver us right into that, but we still, you know, get the core trio, the shonen trio, you know, established and characterized, and then throw them right into this tournament where we can see their cool fighting styles and stuff. And it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Super exciting. And I'm super excited to continue this anime. Episode 2, Renewal Soul. What happens in episode 2?
We see Park Mujin is shown to have as much power as other world governments as the test's lead administrator. Flashing back, we see Mira snapped Jin's neck for handling her sword, but thanks to the nanomachines of the God of High School tournament, he is healed back to fighting shape. Each character discusses their respective motivations for joining the tournament before the next day we see Gang attempt to intimidate Go before their match, in which Go would refuse to ask for forgiveness even after being beaten to a pulp. Jin jumps in to interfere, and with the match, Jin jumps in and interferes with the match to save Go and reveals Gang had an evil presence about him the entire time.
Oof. Oh man.
Episode
Also,
2. Exactly what Dan said.
Also, when the first few intro scenes are better animated than the entirety of Shine On. Yeah, man. That whole bicycle scene, I was immediately just in awe. I was like, oh, like Oh
My
my
eyes shot
god.
open, man.
The way the bike would like like the wheel got all huge in the front and
They're using actual animation techniques like stretch and snap and stuff, and I'm just like,
yeah, literally. So I am taking it with like a grain of salt where I'm like, I am conscious of me thinking like, is it good just because I watched something not so good before? But then also I'm like, no, it is really good and really
yeah,
entertaining and really
yes,
fun. So we snap to the Pentagon and they mentioned something called a Charyok. Charyok. Park Moochin meets the president apparently.
president of something.
Yeah, United States, maybe. I don't know. Oh, also one thing. You watch it in Japanese, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I switched to English for a little bit. That shit sucks.
Oh,
Do
really?
not watch it in English. Or maybe you should try it on the next episodes. I was like, there's no life.
No
I'm
life.
just like they're just talking. And
Yep.
it was really sad. And I was like, oh man, no, it's so much more powerful in Japanese. And I was like, yes, this is it. So note, if you're watching it in English, do not, because it is not worth you're losing it. We get the tournament bracket and we get the whole see this characterization, like that's Mira.
Yeah.
But she's just complete, you know how it is in anime. You get mad and it's just like different face. So it's so
Then in the
it's
very next
comical.
shot, we get the little chibi version of her. So it's just like it's not afraid to just draw the characters in different ways and have them be expressive.
Something that yes, definitely something that popped out to me that I noticed was that during some of these times when they're walking, sometimes when they're talking, there's like some music going on in the back and it's like kind of vibey. And I don't know if everybody noticed it either because I didn't notice it in episode 1, but on episode 2, I started noticing it where like the music stops at key points whenever something's happening, like a main point or something. And it's like, oh, like the music stopped and you can hear like it's just building the vibe around it of them just hanging out and it has forward momentum with them just doing a mundane thing when they're
Okay.
just kind of exposition. So maybe like in the next
I
episode,
noticed that. Yeah.
notice the like try and listen to the music where there's important parts and some other stuff. They're still trying to keep it light and keep it fun. I'm like, this is cool. We get the whole exposition of the motivations for Han, and we get enough. We don't get a full explanation, which is fine at this point. And also Mara's motivations as well, or Mira. Sometimes my autocorrect just changes it, so
Yeah,
I don't
same.
remember. Yeah, so Mira, where Han is fighting for somebody that's in the hospital, possibly, and it's really funny because Han has a different job in each episode. Like he's just working like 10 jobs or something. And every single time we cut to outside of the tournament, he's doing something different. And I thought that was interesting.
That's
just to show that.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. In every single single episode, he has a different job. Like he's doing something else.
That.
Yeah. He's the night person.
The only time I noticed him being at different jobs a few times, because I remember when he's introduced the first shot, like he's at like a grocery mart, but then later on we see bullies at like the computer lounge or something like that. So yeah.
In I don't remember what this one was, but this episode he was doing something else.
Yeah.
So he's fighting for somebody that's in the hospital. Mara wants to revive the family dojo, and like that's enough for me. Like you could put your own thoughts and feelings into that from your own life experiences. Like I don't need names and stuff right now. This is only episode 2, but this is showcasing what's to come. And I think that's great because I'm like, I get it, wants to save your family's lineage. I get it, wants to save and get money, because I don't think we mentioned it. The person that wins the whole tournament is granted a wish.
Yes.
So it's definitely like Dragon Ball Z vibes kind of, but so I get it. Like I get what their motivation is. I don't need any more right now. And I think that was good. Apparently in the past, Jin got handled by the commissioner pretty hard. Like they don't show the fight at all.
They just show the introduction and then him standing there knocked out, because he probably got, hey, you want to come fight? in this tournament, and then he'd probably immediately try to fight the guy.
Bro, that's so funny. I love that. Every single time they call back to it, they're just like Jin on the floor. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So Mira doesn't want to let her fighting style die.
Yes.
And Jin really wants to help, and Daiwi wants to help as well. Very cool. Go Gamdo as a character with his Tai Chi style. Jin is going to face Go. We get a Mira win. We get Jin win, I think. And what did I put? Yeah. Did Jin fight Go right here? I don't remember.
In the second episode, it's the other gang, the guy that's introduced with at the late part of the first battle royale.
Okay.
He fights Go, and then Jin hops in because Go was getting like.
Oh, that's why I said pulled Go. Okay, yeah, he pulls. Bro,
Yes.
This was such an epic scene. And you put Edward saving Bella from the car. Dude, oh my god, bro. I am just shook. Like this is my shit right now. Like I love this. It's so good because he's there asleep. Jin's asleep, and then the next thing we see him is like so like it's just
and I love
epic scenes.
That is kind of like called back to humorously when all of a sudden he's in the ring and then Han and Mira look over their shoulders and he's just missing. And it's just like, this dude's just so quick. Like, how is he that fast? And that's exactly what I said. I was like, but isn't he watching it back there with and then it cuts to them and he's just gone. And I'm like, it's just too good. It's just too good.
It's so good. We get my Mission, who's using wrestling moves. We see Bike, who uses one-handed weapons, which we'll find out later. Daiwei's just killing him. I got a lot of stuff about the fight. Man, Go and Kang. And we find out Kang is using a northern style taekwondo. We get some backstory on Kang as well. That he was weak once. And I'm like, this is what I want Record Ragnarok to be. It's so fast. Whereas Record Ragnarok would be like, okay, here's my story. And I'm like, oh, here's a flashback. And then we wait. And they're like, oh, they're just powering up or whatever. I'm like, okay, come on. But this is like so quick. Instantly characterize them like, okay, he was weak once before. And now he's like, fuck that. I'm killing everybody. I'm like, okay.
We probably are able to guess because he's tapping into some sort of power that he shouldn't have. And it goes, on top of the fact that his introduction, he was held back from being at the battle royale initially, and it wasn't until Park said to put him in that they put him in or something like that. So like it's all building up, all the breadcrumbs, like all the breadcrumbs, like you said.
Because King has a darkness and he took off his pants, and we see a traveler with Charyuk, which is, I guess, the darkness that I guess that's the only way to characterize it right now. Saying that King is powerless, that he'll never be good enough for the power. I'm assuming at some point he is good enough. We don't see that, but Jin still takes him out. And Park Moojin stops Jin somehow. And there was just something happened that we don't know what's going on. So I'm already invested in this tournament. It's episode 2. And I'm like, these dudes are fighting, action, great animation. Let's get into episode 3. Wisdom,
episode 3.
Kingdom. What happens in episode 3?
We see the Illuminati conducting business before the regional matches continue, with Mira and Ma's match up first, Mira coming out victorious. Jin's punishment is revealed, which will be having to beat an administrator in order to continue. Park gives Jin some mysterious fruit, telling him to recover for his match. However, Jin would appear to react negatively to this fruit. Han is shown with his diagnosed friend before going up against Bayek at regionals. After Han claims victory, Jin takes the ring versus the administrator, winning in just a brief moment. The administrator loses his cool, revealing what was the name for it? The demon looking thing.
Joker. I don't know. I didn't. I just said a stand in my notes.
Revealing some sort of stand. Park appears to believe Jin is some sort of chosen one.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, bro, they got stands in this.
I thought there was something that you said, and I thought it was some term that I missed.
I mean, they say that some of them have a charyok.
Charyok. Is that what that thing is? Probably then.
I don't know. Maybe some people are able to handle the charyok, and it expresses themselves in different stands. As I know, because I'm a JoJo expert now. I've read I'm on Stardust Crusaders in the manga, book 3 actually. So we open with a huge cult that's happening here, and that is something that I did not expect, that there's going to be some sort of subplot here, and I'm down for it. Like I would have been fine, and maybe I would have been like I would have like, my glass would have been full and overflowing, and I've been like, okay, that's enough. If it was just all tournament, like maybe by the end, if it was just all tournament stuff, I would be like, okay, that's enough. Like, we're good. But with the introduction of this whole subplot sort of cult thing, I'm like,
potential.
It has potential, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know I needed this, and let's see where it goes. Go is drained, so he can't be in the tournament. Kang won't fight because of something.
He's scared.
Yeah, we get information because of Park looking into Jin, that his grandpa, who we saw in episode 1, Jin Taijin, is somebody that Park knows, somebody from the past. Person of interest. And we get, bro, Mira versus Ma Mission. Oh my god. Love her wrestling. She's so dope. She was actually doing wrestling moves, except for her ultimate or whatever. That was not possible by a human. But she is my Pan-American WWD Women's Pro Wrestling Champion for sure. I had to write that down because I was like, they gave her a championship. I didn't really understand her reasoning for trying to win the tournament. She wants good men.
Yeah, she wants men.
She wants guys.
All kind. That's it.
If that's your wish, fine, whatever, man. That's cool. Mira wins anyways. Mira does some
swordless.
Literally swordless. Cuts her with her hands. So she has some Demon Slayer style fighting stances where she can use it without her sword. So she can use the power within her, and she's just cutting and like sending the energy. I'm cool with it. Whatever. I'm down. Because like she wasn't even close. She was just like, whoom. And then it's like, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh my god, man.
It's getting to the point. Breathe. Yeah, it's getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, I don't care if it makes sense. I'm like, I'm good.
I'm do cool it.
Just do it because it looks so cool.
Exactly. It looks cool, and it is cool. Rule of cool, please.
Yeah, literally the rule of cool. Or like, can she just not be close to her and just slice her with her arms? I guess by how fast her arms.
Is she the main character? Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do
it. Park gave Jin some fruits. Apparently, these special fruits were under lock and key. Don't really know what they're doing. Jin goes down. Han meets with, we find out the hospitalized person's name, Sung Tae, who is possibly their friend. I thought at first it would have been like a family member, but friend is good. Friend is fine, I suppose. Han versus Bike. And Han, what I got from this, that we get some more characterization of Han because he has morals. He tried to help up his opponent, which was like not what I expected. And I was like, that's so cool because his opponent Bike is like, you could have
Like
gotten me.
he slipped. Yeah.
Yeah, he literally slipped on the floor, and then his first instance was to help him up and be like, I can't, me morally, I can't win like that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be
He was like only a coward would attack somebody in a state like that. That's how he put it, I think.
And I'm like, hell yeah, brother. Give
Yeah.
us another cool main character. I'm down for this. Bike's attack. Again, another thing where I'm just like, fuck it. His attack hits Han 12 times at once.
And he just stands through it.
And it goes straight to his organs.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the me with all the numbers. You have one bat and all 12 hits hit at once in 12 different spots.
Yes.
And he goes choom, and then I'm like, fuck it, bro. This is cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's making fighting styles, like a power system. That's all it is. That's all it's doing. It's bringing a power system into, or in a universe where all these different fighting techniques are everything. It's just giving them a power system to scale with, where different there are different power levels. Like we see people on there, it's straight up give us a wristband that says this thing is going to read out your power level at all times. Yep. So it's just like it's just that, but made in a environment where we can have these kind of more spectacle events of fights, because that's what's cool. That's what a lot of people watch action shonen anime for. And I keep saying shonen, and this doesn't technically classify as a shonen, I think, because it's an adaptation of a manhwa. So
Webtoon even.
So and I love how when they showcase the arena, it's got like Crunchyroll and Webtoon advertisements up, the self inserts. I'm just like, so in this universe, does Crunchyroll and Webtoons exist, or is it saying that this exists in our universe? Anyways, that was a passing thought.
They also had earlier, was it in episode 1, Moonbucks Coffee?
That's right.
I love all the names of all the real stores in these anime. But yeah, what is Crunchyroll in their world? What is Webtoons in their world?
Because if it's just the normal things, like, that means that these guys, they're watching Naruto, they're watching Bleach, they're watching
true. Well, apparently they're not watching it because there was like 80 billion people watching the tournament. I think at one point there were like,
that's right,
7.2 billion people, or no, it was like 6.3 billion people are watching the tournament. I'm like, that's like almost how many people are on the world. Like everybody's watching this tournament. That's insane.
Double-digit percentages of the world.
Like maybe we should look into that, because these people are being forced to watch it like propaganda or something. Jeez, I was like, fuck it, it's a big deal. Those some views. Jin is still down, as we see. He's seeing things, possibly a dragon. I think I saw in one clip. Jin is still there, but he does end up showing up, and Park is happy that Jin did show up, and he's like, "What is this power?" Jin goes to fight. This was really funny. Jin goes to fight the commissioner, and as soon as he said go, he puts him down. And it's like, where did he come from? He's just insanely fast. And I thought this was super funny.
It was pretty funny. He's like, take off your glasses. Push.
Yeah. And the commissioner gets super mad. He has a GP of 2,500, and he has this Joker stand thing that comes out. One of the other commissioners save Jin, and Park's like, your money's gonna be docked for 3 months. You know why? And
3
like
months?
I want to know, like, at this moment, I'm like, okay, they have some sort of power. This is like a Stan JoJo's thing. Apparently Jin saw it, right? Jin saw this happening. Did any regular humans see it? I don't know, because like in the JoJo verse, other regular people don't see those things happen, and they just see the repercussions of it. But did everybody else? Because nobody mentions it. If
Yeah, and
this
everybody
was,
acts like it was just nothing. I
yeah, if
don't know.
this,
I guess
so
not.
that was my big question at the end of this. I was like, did anybody else see this? Because this would have been on the news if some crazy spiritual figure just came out above him, and I don't know. I mean, Park
I
acted
mean,
like,
how many people are watching this again?
yeah, 6 billion people are watching this. Somebody's gotta, but Park acted sort of like,
Nonchalant.
yeah, nonchalant about it.
Kind of like nonchalant, but also like it's something that they can't have happening.
Yeah. So his nonchalantness makes me think that not anybody can see it, not just anybody, and that Jin saw it because he took the poison fruit, the apple. Dan says it seemed like the other two main characters seem to notice it, I think, but they don't mention it again.
Yeah.
They don't say anything about it because in
Even
episode
when
4 we do a whole other thing.
Yeah, and even when that happens, I don't think they really talk about it.
So I don't, and then Jin doesn't say anything about it. Like, bro, did y'all see that? Like, what the fuck? Like, he doesn't even say it. Park says that Jin is Tai Jin's tiger cub. So something about Jin is beyond something that Park knows about, and that leads us into something completely different. Episode 4. What happens in episode 4?
With the final 4 of regionals set to fight, Mira is suddenly proposed to by, I'm going to butcher this, Seong Jin, agreeing to marry the celebrity to guarantee her moonlight sword style will become renowned. Jin urges Han that they should interfere, but Han believes it is a family matter and they shouldn't butt in. Mira reveals her reasons to her family and they beg her not to go through. However, Seongjin would reveal his demon form and Jin and Han jump in to help. However, Mira stands her ground with them behind her. Things appear to be going better until Han's friend passes away, causing his calm demeanor to break as he takes his anger out wherever he can, including his match with Mira.
Oh, brother. So this is where I didn't know. I did write it down. In episode 4, they do mention it. 7.3 billion people watching. So it is the entire population almost. Yeah, I wrote it down. 7.3 billion. We know upcoming that we have 4 finalists here in the tournament.
That's literally the population of the world.
Yeah, everybody's watching. Literally everybody's watching. It's insane.
It's ridiculous. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was at the beginning, and yeah. Okay, fuck it, bro. Whatever. We ball. I like that they sped through the regionals. I know we're on episode 4, but here we are. We finally get the finals of the regionals going into the God of High School tournament. And we find out that Mira is gonna face Han. We get Seongjin, like you said, who is the strongest martial artist. He has cool purple hair. Is proposing to Mira, who is 17 years old. Cool, great, that's cool. He's giving her what she wants to keep her sword, to keep the moonlight sword art alive. We get some more backstory about Mira's uncle taking her in. This is where I noticed that Han was doing another thing as a job. Because I just put,
he was delivering pizzas.
Yeah, he was delivering. Yeah, okay, yes, he was doing another thing. Jin is concerned for happiness. Okay, so we go into this whole other thing that's 1 episode arc. My main thing was like, all of this is happening before the finals. Like, she's getting married. Like,
yes,
all of this just happened so quickly.
It does happen very quick.
Did you have a problem with them completely switching? Because like when I was looking up stuff about the anime, that's where I read like one sentence where people were like, the pacing is just really bad in the show. And I was like, maybe this can be construed as like weird storytelling because we had all these fighting and then we get into more characterization with this random marriage arc.
I would say that the pacing isn't like particularly like traditional in what you would get out of a show like this, and I think it's because like with the show's premise, it really wanted to kind of like front load a lot of stuff and kind of get you sold on the characters and the concept
Sure.
before it kind of lets off the pedal a little bit. And if it is going to let off the pedal, I would rather it be like in episodes 4, 5, 6. That way we can build towards a more like a stunning, fantastic conclusion for the end of the first season. Even if it's just kind of like, 3 episodes of tournament stuff, then 1 episode of some characterization, I think that's still a good balance. It's just kind of like, the 75% to 25% ratio there would probably be better interspersed throughout each episode rather than it being 3 entire episodes of one and 1 whole episode of the other. But the fact that it's trying to do something with that alone is good in my eyes. And it even though the pacing is a little awkward, it's at least very straightforward in what it's trying to do, and it gets it done and over with, and right back to what we were doing before you realize it.
Yeah, because I see why they needed this arc, but I also don't see why we needed to go this far. Like it feels so fast because we're talking about it. She's talking about it with her family, and the next she's in a wedding dress, and I'm like, whoa, this is weird. How much time?
Yeah.
It also doesn't give us a whole lot of sense of time in the anime, which is fine. But this episode, I think I was the most like, how much time has passed? Like, because this feels super fast.
It did feel quick, but I also feel like just with how, again, with the show's premise and what it's been able to do so far, it's just kind of like, I know, at least I'm putting my faith in that the show is kind of like presenting whatever I need to know right now. And it's in these 4 episodes so far, it's kind of like, yeah, it's whatever is on the screen is kind of driving home at the main point of whatever it is that we're engaging in. And it wanted to I think what it wanted to do, which it could have, probably pulled off better, was the balance of having these 2 characters have their motivations kind of be put to the test and whether or not they actually belong in this tournament in the first place. Jin just wants to fight stronger people, and his actual goal is to fight Blondie. We know that. But these other 2 characters, their motivations have a little bit more nuance. So I feel like it's kind of like a test of faith type deal that's going on for them.
Sure, that is, I think, coinciding with the ultimate goal in the end to sort of bring them all together even more and show how much Jin and Han care for Mira's happiness, and how they're seemingly, as far as we know now, they're going to stick together, and they come to her aid when they think she needs it the most. Whenever Jin is trying to take her hand in marriage, ends up being in the cult, tasked to get the holy sword that can rule God himself in the hand that can draw that power, which he thinks is Mira. Jin and Han stop the wedding. Han stops Seongjin's blade with his hand, which is kind of insane. He was just like, nope.
This is after he's eaten the fruit, though. So
no, that was
Han. Sorry.
Han.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Sorry,
Han's just a strong boy.
Han is just made of stone, basically, I guess. I mean, he got hit by a bat at 12 different points at the same time, hitting his organs, and he just kind of shrugged it off.
Yeah. It shows like the extent to where they'll go,
which I'm okay with.
Together.
Let me add that. I'm okay with it.
I'm cool. Oh, okay. It was just cool. I just wanted to mention because it was dope. But I think as well in this episode, what they wanted to do is try and get the emotional stuff in and make it
invest in them,
because we also see Mira's uncle stops the punch that was going to be for Jin, and he kind of steps in the way, and it's like, oh fuck, no, you know what I mean? We get Seongjin's stand as well, which looks crazy. Mira gets slashed, takes out Seongjin in 1 hit, and they're all like together, so they're hitting on the emotional beats. Here we are, super happy, they're all together. And then we get just this downfall here. And I think it was just to bring us up to put us down and just show
Yes.
complete disarray in what Han feels now. Quickly, Dan said, my guess he's pushing to get this marriage done quickly. I'd guess at most this is only a few days from proposal to wedding because he doesn't want her to rethink it. For sure. But then I also like if they did that, that was fine. But in the back of my head, I think the tournament is happening day, next day, next day, next day. So like when I know the finals are coming up and it can't be that long until the finals happen, I'm like, all of this happened in between.
I guess like between prelims and them announcing like, oh, these are the four finalists, and like they're going to be starting next weekend. Monday, this guy shows up, proposes to her, and then by Thursday they're getting married. But like she said, it's not. They're just doing the reception or something like that, so it's just like official, but they're not making it a big, huge thing. So like, it's definitely a shotgun wedding, and you feel that, but it's just like. I guess it's the fact that we don't really get the entire reveal that he's actually in for nefarious reasons until later, even though we can kind of guess that, especially when he talks to the uncle and he throws out words like, or phrases like, I'll do what you and your dead brother couldn't do. It's like, bro, what are you talking about right now? Anyways, So it's still, but like I agree that it feels like when the show's not just feeding you that, giving you that flow, and it disrupts it, and it's having to switch gears to do this other thing. It's jarring. Like I'm not saying it's not jarring, but it's also it also doesn't happen every day where you have an anime that starts itself with the tournament arc right away. So it's just like the show's kind of it has to do things in a non-traditional way if it wants to kind of cover all of its ground given its premise. And I think that's what I round back to.
And it makes sense. I can buy what you said about them announcing the finalists and be like, all right, let's take a couple days off and let's get to the finals this weekend. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can buy that. So we get the whole a lot of emotional stuff. Han, him beating up the bullies that were there. He's just no fucks given, and Han takes out Mira because he's in pain. Bro, I am a sad boy here, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to keep watching. It's so good.
Passes by Jin, and all he has to say is "See you in the finals."
Brother, it's so
that's like I'm gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure.
It's so crazy. Like it's just so much weight in everything. Even the hits are just like boom, and it's just like it's so much weight in the action, but then also so much weight in like dialogue. Dialogue means so much here. Where do you think this is going? We watched episode 1 through 4. Do you have maybe an end in sight? Do you kind of have a thought, an idea about what could happen? What are you thinking?
By the end of the first season here, I want to know what's going on with I don't need to know all of his plans and machinations, but Park, I need to know what's going on with him. What is this whole cross power that he has with his hand? Because we haven't even talked about that. The fact that he flattened a whole island with like that power, basically.
And the Americans don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, and he like but he can also be so delicate that he can hold down Jin forcefully using it. So it's just like, what is that? What is the power system if it's beyond just these guys and their fighting techniques? I think that's where I'm at with that. But also I want to know like what's up with Jin's grandfather and why was he so important? Why does that make Jin the cub?
He has a cross on his chin. I didn't notice that. And he has a cross on his head.
Oh, I didn't notice that actually. Are they the same person? Or do they give a
Are they in the same clan?
Are you guys Scar brothers? But no, yeah, like honestly, like what I want most out of this show is just to see more cool fighting styles get introduced and showcased and put against our main characters. I want our main characters to be friendly again. There's no fighting.
No,
that makes me sad. anyways,
I
where do
mean, now,
you
I mean, they were always. It's always just going to be one. One's going to continue on. Most
yeah,
likely,
but
it's going
it's
to be
like
Jin.
he was like being mean about about it, and even everybody in the audience, got all quiet and stuff.
Oh,
And
they were like, "Is this okay?"
yeah,
They were
are
like,
we okay with this? And then
"Yeah,
you had the referee, having to step in to stop him, and it's like, bro, that's what you. Again, is that's your friend? You should be trying to kill that person. It looks like you're
yeah."
trying to kill. Anyways, what do you think is the big idea with this? What do you think? Where do you think we're gonna be? Episode 13, because this one's got 13 in the first season.
Well, technically 12 because one of those episodes was like
Are you sure? Because it still numbered them 1, 2 extra, and then I think it went to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I could be wrong,
I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
but
I
I
hmm.
thought I had double checked that.
Could you check that?
I'm live checking 1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5.
S-
Yep, there's 13 for sure.
Okay, 13 episodes total. I like you. I want to see what Park Min-jin is, the power system, what
Like, what's going on with those stands? I
yeah.
want to know what's going on with that.
I'm scared it's going to get too big too quickly, but I feel like the pacing for this is fine because we're still using our hands to fight. So I'm like, okay, we're still here. We're still grounded. If it picks up later, that's cool. I don't want them to get it too into that for a little bit because I mean we've seen two of them already. Um, but I think it's something. I don't know. I think it is some. I mean, it could be some sort of alien thing that crash landed into the Earth, or somehow got onto Earth that people can take a hold of or control, or gives them more power. Because we did see that like passerby person talking to Kang about it. It could be like a god or something like that. It could be Park. Park Mujin could be this otherworldly being, or have be the host of this otherworldly being
He's
and
the
granting,
devil.
yeah, literally the devil granting powers to people that he thinks are worthy of them, or um yeah, I don't know. I really want to see more action, more cool stuff, more tournament. I'm super down for it. I love the animation so far. It's a really cool anime so far. So I'm super down to continue. Whatever it goes, I think maybe a little bit less of like the wedding stuff. That's
Yeah,
fine. We already did it. We're good.
I agree.
But then also, where does Han go here? Where does Han go from here? Like
Yeah.
his sort of arc seemingly is done, which is fine, I guess. But then we don't get sort of an ending for you, Mira, unless Jin's wish is to grant his friend's wishes because he just wants to fight.
And
So
then what if his friends wish for their friends to have wishes, and then we just create an infinite wish loop, and then everybody's now all of a sudden we have more than one.
see, it's not technically a wish because it's not. I like the way they presented it. It's like you get a wish, but to the extent of what the commission can grant you.
Yeah.
They
The
were like,
commission will do everything in their power to make it happen.
yeah, which I'm dope. I'm fine with as long. I mean, the I like that it's grounded. The tournament is grounded in reality, and I'm like, okay, here we are. It's a Dragon Ball Z wish, but like the commission still has power over it. Like it's not, whatever. I'm super down for this anime. God of High School, pretty good first step 4 episodes. Matt, whenever you're not fighting in tournaments, where can they find you on the internet?
You can follow me on my socials at it's Matt_Galley. You can follow me on my YouTube at Matt_Galley, where I am not streaming right now, but I'm working on making some videos because my schedule has just been so off the has been so
Off the
inconsistent that
trail.
off the beaten trail. It's just been so inconsistent that it's hard for me to put the time aside for streaming. Like when I do have the time, it just doesn't work out with everything. So I'm gonna put that time towards creating like actual videos, and that's what I'm going to be working on. So if you want to see that when that's going on, Matt_Galley. Jules, when we're not here working through the Tower of God, the God of High School, where can the people find you?
On my socials at JulesTheHuman, at JulesTheHuman on all social media. I am not streaming. I'm doing vacation stuff. This weekend I went to the coast with my family and it was fun. I got in the beach and I tried those Arizona
Hard
teas.
seltzers.
Yeah, those hard seltzers were pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we got a whole box in the fridge.
They're pretty good.
But yeah, I went to the beach this weekend, and this coming weekend I'm going to Wisconsin or something to go hang out. So I'm going to be there for about a week, but I'll be back for Wednesday. Yes, I'm going to get some cheese. Yes, I'm going to get some cheese curds. But unfortunately, I won't be streaming. I didn't stream last week, and I'm not going to stream this weekend. I'm just doing some vacation stuff. Enjoy my life outside of
summer.
It's summer break. But that's it. Watch episode 5 through 9.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
5 episodes next week. 5 episodes next week because there's 13 episodes. We got to get them in. 5 through 9. Episodes 5 through 9 of The God of High School. And we'll talk about it next Wednesday. So come back here for that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.